On 103, this is if that pain is not good, or pain does not matter for man. If that's the most famous quote, this is the second most famous quote on 103. If you could venture a guess as to what it might be. Yeah, you're getting these man-made quotes. Yeah. Like it's a big puzzle. But yeah, man is not made for defeat. He can be destroyed, or a man can be destroyed, but not defeated. What does that mean? If somebody doesn't get this, I'm about to go on one of my movie quotes. Movie line runs. Oh, I am. I'm going to speak up. What is it? What does it mean? Huh? Can't kill him. Well, it's like that, but the opposite. Like you can kill a man, but you can't defeat him. So that's movie time. I'm sorry. Like I'm Braveheart. We've all seen Braveheart, right? With Mel Gibson, and he's Jesus. Okay. Well, anyway, Braveheart. He's supposed to submit to the King of England, but he's not English. He's Scottish, so he fights for Scotland's independence. And so they capture him, and they're going to kill him. They're gonna they torture him, and they're gonna decapitate him and quarter him up and stuff. And they say that, well, look, we're going to kill you either way, but if you admit that England, the King of England is your king, and you submit to him, then we'll kill you quickly and we won't torture you. And he refuses to do it. And so they torture him, and to where it's getting to the point where like everybody in the crowd that's watching the torture is like wanting him to submit because they're starting to feel bad for him. The English are starting to feel bad for him. And the guy that's doing the torturing asks him if he likes to say something. He's saying, wants him to say that he submits to the King of England. And there's that famous line, or famous scene in the movie where he screams freedom. And so, like, they continue to torture him and they kill him, but he never submitted to the King of England. So even though he's dead, like even though they destroyed him, they literally destroyed his body. They cut his body up and sent it to all different parts of England. Even though they destroyed his body, they never defeated him. They never defeated his spirit. Huh? Right. So that's kind of well, that's exactly what Hemingway is getting at here, and the old man is getting at, because he's been fighting these sharks, right? And he's not going to give up. He's going to fight the sharks to protect. What are you doing? He's been fighting these sharks and is going to fight them until he dies to protect. Well, to protect the fish is already dead. Why is he so dead set on protecting the fish? Well, no, there's no reason to think that it's his last opportunity. He's gone 84 days without a fish. If he goes 85, he could probably go 86 or 87.
I was speaking for Dr. Hemingway.
For Dr. Hemingway? He's not a doctor.
This is the last chance.
Right, okay. Now, why is the old man defending the fish?
Because if he didn't give up what he worked for, and giving up when you're defeated.
Right, one. And also is why, well, it's also because of that relationship that he feels for the fish. He wants to protect the fish. Even though he's dead, he doesn't want the fish to die for nothing. And he respects the fish and respects the fight that the fish had, and doesn't want to see it desecrated and torn apart by those that don't deserve it.
So does he plan on dragging the fish all the way?
Yep. All the way back. Now, on at the bottom of 103, he says, I must think because it is all I have left. Now, earlier, whenever we had the fight between man versus beast, there was no thinking involved, right? It was all sheer just setting your mind to doing one task and ignoring everything else and enduring all the pain that is possible. Well, now that that's over and he's having to fight off hordes of sharks, several sharks, he actually starts using his intellect, right? I told you that story about Prometheus stealing the fire from the gods, and the fire not only being the element of fire, but also the idea of ingenuity and being able to create weapons or invent things that allow us to rule over the creatures of the earth. And we see kind of where he does that, and it's a small example, but it's what Hemingway was getting at, where he takes his knife and lashes it to the butt of his oars, to the butt of one of the oars, right, to make. Well, I mean, what was one of the very first, most primitive weapons that man made? A spear, right? And that's a simple sign of, of intelligence, right, and ingenuity, that none of the other animals ever made spears. And so this is him. I mean, it's not a coincidence that he says on one page, he says, I must think now. And then the very next page, he makes a spear. He starts thinking about sin, and on 105 when he says, do not think about sin, he thought there are enough problems now without sin. Also, I have no understanding of it. Perhaps it was a sin to kill the fish. I suppose it was, even though I did it to keep me alive and feed many people. But then everything is a sin. Do not think about sin. It is much too late for that, and there are people who are paid to do it. Let them think about it. You are born to be a fisherman, as the fish were born to be a fish. What's going on right here with the old man?
He's taking a guilt trip.
Yeah. But is it rightly so? Should he be taking a guilt trip?
Yeah. I don't even know what he's doing.
Well, there's not much really to bring back of the fish. The sharks have pretty much destroyed the fish, and we kind of glossed over it, but there was a point in the novel where the old man knew that it's kind of like the point of no return, where once he got so far out, he knew that it was going to end badly. I mean, he knew that in the back of his mind, there was a point where he knew it was either going to be him or the fish was going to die. And there was just no saving both of them. And then so it turns out that he wins, and he's so far out now that there's no way that the sharks wouldn't have caught the scent of the blood in the water. And so, he kind of questioning himself on why he did that, on why did he let his ego, did he let his vanity and insecurity, did he let his pride get in the way of catching this? I mean, like I said, what's the point in catching this fish and killing this fish, this great, magnificent, beautiful fish, when he's not going to get any money off of it, and no one else is going to get to eat it except for the sharks that shouldn't be eating it in the first place? Why do that? Why do that to this? And that's the problem. That's why he feels guilty, is because he has this great respect, for this noble, fish of the sea or creature of the sea, as he sees it. And so why do that? Why destroy something like that? Even though he's not the one that's destroying it, the sharks are destroying it. But it was his decision to go through with it, or take it as far as he did. And he knew it would happen. Like, in the back of his mind, he knew it was going to happen. Why? Why do that? Well, he doesn't know. He's a fisherman, right? I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, he's like, what? It's just getting too deep for him, and it's too much to think about. Right? He's a fisherman. He fishes. No matter what, he fishes. There are others that think about sin. He's talking about priests and stuff. They get paid. People that get paid to think about sin think about sin. He's here to do what he's here to do. The fish are here to do what they are there to do. And on 106, we see his resolution. He says, I killed him in self-defense, and I killed him well. Besides, he thought, everything kills everything else in some way. Fishing kills me exactly as it keeps me alive. The boy keeps me alive, he thought. I must not deceive myself too much. Okay. what is interesting about the fact that he says fishing him kills him as much as it keeps him alive? You don't stop fooling around with that stuff. I'm going to kick you out. I can't hear anything else. Put that down. So, what does he mean when he says fishing kills him as much as it keeps him alive?
Because he pretty much dedicated his whole life to fishing, and like it does a lot of physical damage to him. And it causes
But the
him,
food
like, a lot of
kept
stress
him
and time.
Right. Also, the irony of the ocean. What is the one element? What is the one thing that every living thing needs to live? We all need water. Everyone needs water. Now, why do people die of dehydration in the ocean? Because it's salt water, right? I mean, that's the ultimate irony of salt water is that it's salt water, but salt sucks the moisture out of everything, sucks the water out of everything. That's why, I mean, salt. That's why his skin is all old, like dry, and probably looks like worse than about like my face looks right now. In the sense that he is right. I mean, he is surrounded by this salt water and wind and stuff that is literally sucking the water, which is water has always represented life, sucking the life out of him. But yet he's surrounded by water, which represents life. So, you know the ultimate irony of that and of him going out and fishing to get food, right, and producing food, which we need to survive, which we need to live, is also that which kills him. And again, there's something that is just ultimately, I don't know, ironic in a way that you can't even really begin to explain what that idea of him being, the idea of the same deals, being surrounded by water but dying of thirst. Now, on 108, he has another description of the sharks when he says they have slitted yellow eyes. So they watched him with slitted yellow eyes and then came up fast with his half circle of jaws wide to hit the fish where he had already been bitten. On 110, he apologizes. This goes back to what I was talking about going out too far. On 110, he says, I shouldn't have gone out so far, fish, neither for you nor for me. I'm sorry, fish. On 112, when he says, now they have beaten me, he thought, I am too old to club the sharks to death, but I will try it as long as I have the oars and the short club and the tiller, right? He knows that he's beaten. He knows that the fish is gone, but he's just not going to give it up. Even though he's beaten, right, they still haven't defeated him because he's still going to go after it. Repeating that again on 115 says, fight. I'll fight until I die. Now, whenever he finally gets back on land, well, first, okay. On 119, this is important. He says, the old man could hardly breathe now, and he felt a strange taste in his mouth. It was coppery and sweet. And he was afraid of it for a moment. Normally, what does that mean? What is a coppery and sweet taste in the mouth? Yeah, you're about to die. I mean, that's like in every book or movie when they talk about the taste of death, they say, like one of the big sayings is like it's like sucking on a greasy penny, right? That coppery taste of death. And why is that funny? Oh. You're going to say y'all are sick. Maladjusted. Yeah, it was coppery and sweet. And what does the old man do? He spits into the ocean and says, eat that and make a dream that you've killed a man.